If you are a bruiser or someone that uses medium or heavy gear in your builds, then this video is for you. In today's video, I'm going to be highlighting all of the best free bruiser items that you can pick up free of charge. All you have to do is take some time and farm out a few bosses here and there, and then essentially you can get a almost best in slot 700 gear score set. So let's go ahead and jump right into the specifics and start off with the Great Axe. One of the best Great Axes in the game is actually located right in Ebonscale Reach, right in the top right corner next to this named location right there. You will come across a church. At this church, a large mob is going to spawn right there, which will have a chance of actually dropping this Great Axe right here, which you can either get purple or gold and upgrade all the way up to 700 gear score. Enchanted and Refreshing Move are the two perks that are locked in here, and then you can drop in Enfeebling Maelstrom, making it essentially a best in slot Great Axe, which is great for PvP related content. Again, Thwarting Strikes used to be best in slot, but after the recent con changes, it's a little bit more difficult to actually pick up Grit. So right here is this first boss, and what I love about this location is that there's actually 3 mobs all right next to each other that give you a shot of getting this Great Axe. After you defeat the named enemy in the church, you're going to step outside and follow this path right here to the next named mob, which also gives you a chance of not only picking up this Great Axe, but also a few very valuable items, including the Woodworker's Cap, which on my server goes for around 2,000 gold, so you might as well pick up some easy money. Right there, I got it first try, and again, this is just easy gold plus another shot at the Great Axe. The last named enemy is right here, again, super close, and this one also drops a handful of very valuable items, making it not only worth it farming for a chance of getting this Great Axe, but also a chance of getting some very valuable items. So you can see I just picked up this seal here. Just like with the Angry Earth Saps, if I gather 100 of these, I can create the major lost trophy piece that's needed in order to craft that trophy. So again, totally worth doing it, and it's just a win-win-win. 3 great enemies. After I kill that last one, I go back to the church and wait to just rinse and repeat until I actually pick up the Great Axe. Next up is quite possibly the most valuable gear that bruisers can farm for, and it's the Frigid Dawn set. Now, what's great about the Frigid Dawn set is that it has 2 locked perks, which is Elemental Aversion and Enchanted Ward. You cannot craft those perks together, and this is the only named item that actually has these perks combined, making it extremely valuable, especially if you enjoy playing in clumps like bruisers typically do. In order to pick up this gear, you actually have to run at least an M1 of Glacial Tarn. And again, after you defeat some of these named enemies, you have a chance of picking up some of the different pieces. Some enemies only drop certain pieces, like for example, the final boss in this dungeon drops the Glacial Tarn chest piece, which is pretty tricky to actually get your hands on, so you will likely have to run this multiple times. I honestly think I ran this over 15 times to actually get all of the pieces I actually wanted. So expect a grind, but also it totally is worth it if you do plan on being a bruiser. What's pretty nice though is that, as you can tell, I didn't have any luck there getting the pieces I wanted, which is totally okay, because after running this dungeon multiple times, you're going to be picking up a handful of dense materia. With the dense materia, you can actually travel right over to a gypsum kiln and type in exactly the item you're looking for. In this case, I'm looking for the Frigid Dawn chest, but as you can see, every single piece of this set is right in the gypsum kiln. And if I drop in the materia that I need, I can go ahead and get this item at 700 gear score, and it will roll a random third perk. So I'm going to go ahead and craft this as an example. Okay, I got Refreshing, which honestly I am happy with. It could be a lot worse. So that's a huge win for me. I don't have to worry about grinding out this Glacial Tarn mutation over and over again. I had the materia and I got the piece that I wanted. In case I actually did get the piece that I wanted, but it wasn't 700 gear score, Or if I did upgrade it and didn't like the perk, that's totally fine because I can actually head over to the gypsum kiln and use a armor matrix and some chromatic seals, which will automatically upgrade it to 700 gear score and allow me to physically select the third perk that I want to drop in, which is great because you can pick exactly what you want to make your Bruiser build the perfect mix for you. Another armor piece worth mentioning is called the Grave Robber's Hat, which actually drops from the Aeneid mutated dungeon. And what's great about this one is that the 2 locked perks are very, very useful. They are Enchanted Ward and Slash Conditioning, plus it's a medium helmet, which a lot of medium Bruiser builds actually require you to utilize a medium helmet, which kind of pushes you away from that Frigid Dawn helm, but also opens you up to use this to make sure you hit the right weight class. And again, this slash conditioning perk is super useful, especially if you're in clumps, because let's face it, there's going to be a lot of slash damage on you. Plus, it's also a pretty expensive perk, so you might as well pick it up while you can. Next up, we are headed over to Murkgar to farm 3 unique items, which is great for Bruisers. So many times in the recruitment chat, you're going to see X Merc. Whenever you see that, go ahead and throw X Merc in that chat and you'll likely get an invite because you cannot really farm these alone. You can, but it's just not worth the hassle. What you're going to want to do is make sure you get a tag and hit these named enemies, especially these priests that you come across. But essentially it's going to be large priests, large enemies with swords, and then also devil-like enemies. And what you want to do is hit these because there's a chance of dropping 3 great items that you can see on the screen here. The first one worth mentioning is the Soul Shroud Warhammer, which I'm a big fan of. The 2 locked perks are Trenchant Crits and Abyssal Attunement. I love running void damage with Bruisers because Gravity Well from the Great Axe ability actually does naturally deal void damage, so it all works together pretty well. Plus, you can lock in Sundering Shockwave for that 3rd perk, making it essentially a best-in-slot Warhammer for a lot of builds. In the middle, we've got the Soul Shroud Amulet, which locks in health and slash protection, which is great once again for clump fighters and also allows you to drop in a 3rd perk such as Stamina Recovery to make your Bruiser build a very effective and powerful one. And last but not least, I did want to include this Light Corrupted set that drops in this area that has a Void Harnessing and Thrust Conditioning, which could be a great fit for any of you guys rocking the Abyss or a Void Damage Assassin build with the Great Axe. So again, some great items in Murkgar. It's definitely worth running this at least daily to get these major corrupted portals and the elite chests in the area, and pick up some great items along the way. The last item I wanted to call out that's definitely worth farming for traditional Bruisers is the Privateer Ring. You can actually gather this from a mutated Barnacles and Black Powder. A few mobs in there actually drop this, but just like the Frigid Dawn set, if you're not lucky, you can get the Dense Materia and craft one yourself. It locks in slash damage and hardy, 2 amazing perks if you're using a Great Axe. However, if you are using the Abyss Great Axe, I do not recommend this because you will no longer be doing slash damage. It'll actually be void damage. But yeah, as you can tell here, I actually crafted one myself and got lucky and picked up leeching. And that really covers it. The items I shared in this video, honestly, is the cookie cutter Bruiser build that you can just collect and honestly create a potentially best-in-slot Bruiser that is extremely effective in all PvP modes, especially large scale like OPRs or influence races, and even wars. Again, these items will allow you to be successful in these different PvP activities, and I hope you find it useful. Thanks again, and be sure to like and subscribe if you're interested in following along with some more New World Aeternum content. Thanks again, and I'll see you later.